Welcome to Eternal Paradigm, and this series focuses on that moment when everything changed. Hello, welcome to the new series of Eternal Paradigm. I hope you're still enjoying your journey to find you, and I hope you're still remaining absolutely true. What does that even mean? I don't quite know. I haven't worked it out myself, but we're all on this journey. So just to give you all a very, very quick overview of what's been happening. So if you have been following me on Facebook, then I have been appearing on several other podcasts. You know, this podcast is not a show about me. It's all about the guests. But generally speaking, overall, what's been happening with Eternal Paradigm? So in the last series, I mentioned that we're in the process, or I have been in the process, I should say, of a rebrand, and that has taken place. We have a new logo, there's new artwork, and over the next few weeks, all of that is going to become apparent as everything syncs together. While all the online syncing is taking place, you can still find out what's happening with Eternal Paradigm via the Facebook page. I will be posting more regularly on Instagram. Things have been very quiet and things have been quite busy. The other stuff that's going on is we still have the Eternal Paradigm Groupies page, which is a small, intimate group of people who we all kind of, it's an open group really. So feel free to come and join. And now I just want to share with you a little more about the actual podcast, the actual update, and obviously what this series is about. So let me tell you, when it came to rebranding the podcast, it was quite challenging, which I found quite surprising because I thought I knew what it was about. I thought I had everything together, but as it transpires, I didn't, and I still don't. But there is a new logo for the podcast. You will be seeing it around, as opposed to the way things were before, which was still the way that it was. It was Eternal Paradigm, and the whole podcast ethos, I guess, was uncovering human experience by exploring different stories. That is still absolutely true. It's the core essence of what this podcast is about. But what it's also about is about a conscious exploration of the human experience. And that's where I kind of come from this in terms of understanding us as humans and how valuable our experiences are as we uncover them, as we experience them, and as we unearth them. Because it's a process of discovery. But one thing that's become really apparent to me in this process of my own journey is, in order for me to be able to help anybody, to empower anybody, or to really be there, I have to be solid. I have to be willing and able to be open to my own flaws, to be absolutely ready and accepting of my own healing, and also to be empathetic and compassionate to what's happening to me before I can show up for anyone else. And this has been quite a revelation for me, because I've grown up with this entrenched conditioning of you must serve others before you. But what that caused in my life was the biggest imbalance that I had ever experienced. And it doesn't mean that I'm unable or not able to be empathetic or sympathetic, but there is also a significant difference in being empathetic and being sympathetic. And for those of you who are healers and empaths will know what that means even more. This has been a journey for me, and it's been an absolute pleasure to be able to share it with you. So Eternal Paradigm, the podcast launched in September 2020, and now we're coming back. I'm coming back, and it's November 2021. So have been on a break since August. That doesn't mean I haven't been doing all the background work. The other thing that I need to add is in relation to the rebrand is it's now moved on, like I said, to human experience for the conscious explorer. And that is such an important aspect of where we all connect consciously as humans. Consciousness itself, or the conscience itself, has so many different areas. You know, there are scientific debates and kind of research and explanation. For me, the thing that I connect with very much is the yogic science explanations of consciousness, different levels of conscious states, and how to achieve and reach these as the humans that we are. Now, that's something that always kind of, absolutely encapsulates me. The other thing about consciousness is it's so open. There is a philosophical aspect. There's a neuroscience aspect to this. It just carries on. And it just opens up everything. There's a significant energetics aspect. So while I'm not going to go into the whole kind of every dimensional aspect of consciousness, because my key focus for this podcast is the human experience element, I have an array of guests lined up for you with the most fascinating, interesting, true, painful, and just incredible journeys. And remember, the other thing about Eternal Paradigm is it's about you. It's about your story. And even though I still am very grateful to be getting approached by people who are incredibly well known, I want to say. This podcast is about your neighbor. It's about your friend. It's about you. It's about your sister. It's about your brother. It's about your parents. It's about the person that you know, or even you, who is on a journey and is stepping in to their conscious exploration, stepping into the power of their human experience, and is willing to open up and share that. Because that is where true healing, true consciousness, true empathy, true human connection really comes together. We are so connected, so connected. And that's what I really want to demonstrate. And every single person who has been on this podcast, I'm so grateful to say that within, a short release time of the episode, I've been contacted by a listener, which totally floors me even now to this day. I get contacted by a listener to say, I listened to this episode and it really resonated with me, or it really changed how I want to live my life. It resulted in me making a life-changing decision. And, when you get a response like that, I am absolutely shocked. I am floored. I am amazed. But that's what happens. That's the power of you. Are you ready to embrace that? So while I leave that question out there are a whole array of different guests on the podcast, and the format has been changed as well. So just a roundup there, guys. I have just mentioned that Eternal Paradigm is still out there on all the socials. In addition to being on socials, I'm going to be a little more active because I haven't been. I appreciate that. There's a whole bunch of amazing guests lined up for you. The podcast format has also been rejigged and changed around. There was one other thing I also wanted to share with you, just like I have always shared with you different aspects and snapshots of my journey in this process. So when I first released the first episode of Eternal Paradigm, I was at a different place in my journey. And now, almost a year on, I'm in a totally different place. I've been absolutely fortunate to meet some of the most incredible people, and I too am learning and embarking on my own journey as a healer, as an intuitive healer, something that I didn't even recognize would ever be possible. But this is what happens. When you allow yourself to step into your healing, it becomes possible to create a space, a real, valid, valuable space for others to explore theirs and step into theirs. And throughout the process, I have been sharing with you things that I have kind of used. There was an episode in the first series where I actually interviewed my coach, who is still my coach, Simon Rogers. He's been incredible, instrumental in creating a space for me to explore my human experience. I'm also working with some of the most incredible people through rapid transformational therapy. I myself am a certified rapid transformational therapist and a hypnotherapist, a counseling practitioner, a mindfulness coach, a creativity coach. There are so many different things that have been happening. So while all these things have been happening for me, I know so much has been happening for you. Get in touch. Let me know. I love hearing from everybody. I love hearing from you. So while I wrap up and round up on what you can expect from this series of Eternal Paradigm, aside from the fact that I keep telling you that the guests are incredible, there are going to be a few more things to get you reflecting, thinking. It's November 2021. We are 6 weeks away from Christmas. In addition to being 6 weeks away from Christmas, we are so close to 2022. It's happening. It's real. So what are you going to do to make 2022 your year? And there we go. Another question. I am the queen of questions. That's what it's all about for me. I love questions. I love curiosity. I love exploration. And are you going to join me in this journey? So I'm going to leave you now and welcome you back for the next episode, which will be out next week.